Came across this body cam footage that I really wanted to talk about because it looks kind of bad, but when you actually break it down a little bit, you can see like, oh, this was lawful but awful. There's some debate here as to whether or not this guy would have actually fired his weapon in the first place. And I've seen some people saying, "Oh yeah, he only fired his weapon because he was tased and had a muscle spasm." I've seen other people saying as soon as he got tased, he realized it was on and he was going to try to take as many of these cops with him as he could. So basically, dude's surrounded by cops. There's one, two, three, four, five, six. There's 7 cops surrounding him, and he decides he's going to John Wick his way out of this and fucking get smoked. Not great, but I saw it. I want to talk about it because I actually like body cam footage. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a police officer. I've never been a police officer. I do understand the use of force continuum. My brother taught me, the use of force continuum is ask, tell, make. And he explained to me some of the intricacies of self-defense as a police officer, which basically you have to defend yourself and others if you think that there is a reasonable threat. So whether that others is another officer or a civilian or whatever, you are somewhat obligated to defend yourself. I don't think it's like a legal obligation, but it's more of like a moral obligation. But yeah. So with that being said, I want to jump into this footage because it looks bad. So we're going to show the shooting, and then we're going to show the lead up. And it looks bad. But with some context here, you'll see real quick, oh, wait, maybe it's not what I first thought it was. So let's go ahead and play it.
Don't do it! I'm going to tase you!
So there's the taser fired and then gunshots immediately. Okay, so right off the bat, I want to say some bad tactics here. Okay, we're going to watch these 2 officers, and they're going to come towards the driver's side of the car while everyone else is on the passenger side. Now, I understand there's this officer at the rear. I don't know if he's firing. I wasn't watching him. I was watching these guys. If this guy's firing, these 2 in the front need to clear the crossfire. And what they do is they run straight into the crossfire. Watch that again. And see, we have this officer and this officer in the crossfire. Looks like the rear officer. He just got the fuck out of there. So they cleared crossfire from rear to front, but they did not clear crossfire from passenger side to driver's side. As a matter of fact, you can see where the rounds came through the door. And you can see a round came through there, a bunch of rounds came through there. These guys, specifically this one right here, went directly into the crossfire. This one didn't do too bad. This one stayed out of the crossfire pretty well, except for this guy right here who put himself right in the crossfire. And then they come back. Watch that one more time. That guy ran straight into the crossfire. Now this is prior to the shooting. This is the body camera footage from one of the officers, and this shows this is where you can actually see the suspect's weapon being fired after he's tased. We'll get
shoot you. Drop that gun right now. Drop that gun right now.
Okay, so you have multiple lawful orders. Drop the gun, drop the gun, drop the gun. Dude's not complying.
Step back. Go ahead.
So they're breaking the window with a baton.
Take your hand off that fucking gun now! I can't
Window's
see.
broken.
I can't see. Hurry up.
He's pulling out.
And they're going in with less lethal.
Don't fucking move. Don't.
Drop it. Drop it. Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
Please stop.
Don't do it. I'm going to tase you.
Okay, so right there, he gets tased. It's kind of hard to see. I saw from a different angle. I couldn't find that video.
Don't do it, man.
As he gets tased, he comes up and rocks off around.
Don't do it.
There it
Don't
is.
do it.
Okay, now pay attention. Right here, over his right shoulder, he comes back and rocks off around.
I'm gonna tase you. Don't do it. Tase. Don't do it.
Let's see, can I slow this down? Playback speed. We'll put this at 0.25 and then I'll mute it because I'm sure it's going to sound terrible. So we'll see taser impact. Boom, right there, taser impact. Gun comes up. And to me, it looks like that slides back already. From what it looked like, I saw better quality footage. It looked like he came up and smoked around through the door and kept coming up. And then the officers start shooting. Impact. Raises the gun. And I've seen some people say, oh yeah, well, he obviously was just reacting to being tased. He wasn't trying to shoot the cops. It was just an involuntary reaction to being tased. I don't think so. I think this guy had charges or something, and it seemed like he was giving him a fake ID, a fake alias. Earlier in the body cam footage, I didn't get the whole body cam footage, but I've watched a few versions of this. This was just the best one for the video. Looks like he was given fake information, given a fake name or whatever, and then he's reaching around looking for something, and they're like, "Hey, man, stop looking," and that's what leads up to them all being drawn down on this guy. To which eventually you have officers saying, "Hey, I see the gun, stop reaching for it." And he continues to reach for it. And I'll give the officers credit here. They tried less than lethal. They broke the window out. They tried the taser. They tried non-lethal. It just didn't work out. I saw a lot of comments saying, well, when he was tased, his finger tensed up, and that's what sent the round off. Maybe, maybe not. It's real easy to armchair quarterback that, It's fucking a month later. Yeah, we can sit here and say, oh yeah, he wasn't being aggressive at all. Or we can sit here and say, oh yeah, he was trying to kill those people. There's no real way to know what he was thinking in that moment. I'd wager, given that it seemed like he was given a fake name, I don't know for sure if it was a fake name. Given that it seemed like a fake name, it seemed like he was being sketchy the whole time. I'm willing to wager he probably had warrants or he was a felon. And this was probably a suicide by cop situation to avoid going to prison. That's what I would wager, which is awful. Just awful. If you're going to go out on your own terms, I mean, fine. But if you're going to make someone else do it, you're shit for that. You're just a shit. I couldn't imagine being in that situation where I have to take someone's life because they don't want to be alive anymore. I think that would be an awful situation to be in. I would hate to be in that situation. I wouldn't want anyone to be in that situation. I feel like that's more what this was. I don't think this was, I'm going to John Wick my way out of this. I think this was, I don't want to go back to prison. So I'm going to take as many with me as I can before I go. And I'm going to go ahead and skedaddle now. And I think skedaddling just so happened to end with, him catching a couple dozen rounds. I think it was all just a bad decision. I think it was a series of bad decisions that led up to this. I really do. And, you hate to see it because just because you fucked up doesn't mean you're fucked up forever. It's still fixable. And a lot of these people get caught up in this cyclical violence and the nonstop in and out of jail. And they're just like, I'm not going back to jail. My life's ruined. I can't buy a house. I can't get a good job. Like, I'm done. And they end up going out this way. It's frustrating. It really is. It's frustrating. But, I saw this and I wanted to talk about it. I do like body cam stuff, especially because I have watched a lot of body cam footage. Um, because I wanted to understand, like, in a self defense shooting, how are police officers trained? What are police officers going to do? And so I like to watch a lot of body cam footage to see, like, well, how do they handle these kind of things? How do you handle someone who's being insanely aggressive? How do you handle a drunk person? How do you handle someone who wants to fight and you don't want to fight? And I like to watch body cam footage because I can point to, if anything does ever happen, I can point to, well, I've seen all this body cam footage of police officers reacting the same way to protect their lives. I've seen a lot of body cam footage of cops doing XYZ to protect themselves. Why does that not apply to anyone? I mean, self defense is self defense. So I'm in a spot where self defense interests me and I want to know the legalities and the ins and outs and how are police officers trained. And I mean, can you really argue in court, oh, we train our police officers this way, but that doesn't apply to you. You don't get to defend yourself. You have to wait until you're about to be murdered before you can defend yourself. Whereas a police officer can defend himself if they see a gun. There's a lot of times where I've seen videos of people seeing guns and being like, oh, hey, that guy is dangerous. And police officers will do something just because they've seen a gun. Even I've seen people carrying firearms getting hassled by the cops. I've seen a lot of people say a lot of dumb shit, honestly. Like just stupid shit. Like, oh well, they shouldn't have shot that guy. They should have shot him in the arm. They should have shot the gun out of his hand. First of all, that is insanely hard to do. Just for perspective. This is a full size. This is my chest. Most cops aren't gonna hit this small of a target. Most cops are probably going to be about this big chest. So they're not really able, if I'm pointing it at you, to shoot the gun out of my hand. You have to shoot it this way and knock it out of my hand. If I'm pointing it at you directly, how are you going to shoot it out of my hand? Also this is it's clear. It's just a prop at this point. 45 ammo is so expensive. This thing's just a prop. But my point is, if I'm pointing it at you, how are you going to shoot it out of my hand? Or in this case, dude had it down here and he came out and back this way. How are you going to shoot that out of his hand? Especially if he already sent around. If he bang and then he's coming up for more, you're not sending around into the gun and taking the gun out of his hand. That's a common argument stupid people will say. Oh, why didn't they shoot him in the leg? Why didn't they shoot him in the arm? Why didn't they shoot the gun out of his hand? It's almost impossible. That's why. My brother and I were actually talking about possibly doing a series where we try police department qualifications, like pistol quals and rifle quals. And it's something I'd be interested in doing. Maybe I would do it just in like shorts on Instagram. Something like that, or reels on Instagram, whatever. You know what I mean. But there was a long time ago, I saw a shooting of a guy in a wheelchair, and everyone's like, well, he's in a wheelchair. He can't be a threat. Let me just demonstrate real quick. Just pretend this is a wheelchair. Oh, I fucked it up. Sitting on my shirt. What an idiot. I can still use a pistol if I'm in a wheelchair. A lot of people were like, oh, this guy, he's in a wheelchair. He's not a threat. You can still use a pistol in a wheelchair. I mean, you're still a threat. There's still a level of threat there, regardless of who it is. This guy, he's in a car, and he ends up blading this way as he brings the gun up. And he's getting, at this point, he gets tased, blades back, and brings the gun up. I don't know if that's just his reaction jumping away, or if his plan was to lay back in the seat and start shooting and go this way and just try to hit as many of them as he could. But it really, to me, looked like this dude had no no chance of surviving this, and he wanted to take as many people with him as he could, if he could, and it looks like he couldn't. I don't know. That's my 2 cents on this. I'm real interested in body cam footage. I really like body cam footage, and I might do more of it. I've done it in the past, and I might do more of it because I actually do enjoy it. But I know it gets taxing on the mind seeing people get shot frequently. So, it is what it is. But I hope you enjoy. I'll see you all in the next one. That's it. Bye.